What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? I would like to welcome you all to another edition of Wayne's Perspective, where we operate in discipline, decency, integrity, and respect. And I'm coming through with another video just for you. As usual, before I get started, I hope everyone is doing okay out there, taking every day one day at a time, living life the best way you know how. As for me, y'all know how I do, of course. I'm taking every day one day at a time and living life the best way I know how as well. And on that note, we're going to go ahead and get into today's video. In general, I have no problems with protesting. I think the majority of us would agree that is one of the clear-cut fundamental aspects of free speech. However, within recent times, very recent times, most of my people have decided to stay away from protests that are likely happening as I speak. This does tie into the 2024 presidential election, and trust me, I'm going to do my best to not turn this into another video voicing my displeasure with the results of the election because I've talked about it enough. What myself and others have noticed is that when it seems like things are taking a turn for the worse in our country, most people, usually white people, let's keep it real here, first to ask, where are the black people who should be helping us out here? And they'll also throw in the Hispanic population too for good measure. Why is it always up to us to keep coming to the rescue and fixing things? Case in point, we had a chance to make history, among other things, during the aforementioned election last year, but America decided to re-elect a convicted criminal over the qualified prosecutor, but I digress. Here's the bottom line on this one. When we do show up, progress tends to be made, but it doesn't take long for one, the presence of law enforcement to be felt, and two, which is the most important one, the more substantial the progression is, the more pushback is received from the same white people who asked for the help in the first place. Almost as if to say, we want the help, but don't do too much because that'll scare us half to death. This then leads to more protests along with society across the board, taking several steps back, right back to square one. Continuing on, another aspect of protesting I want to touch on, and this is where the mainstream media comes into play. Is it just me, or does it seem like when there are certain protests making noise across several states, coverage in the mainstream media is different, for the lack of a better word, depending on who the president is? For example, remember the protests at college campuses in 2024, which were in large part due to what was happening in Gaza? I recall most of their coverage directed swiftly at President Biden, so much to a point where his poll numbers were brought up, along with questions like, how would this impact the Democrats in the 2024 election? What effect would this have on Kamala Harris's campaign? Most of the time, this was talked about for an entire week. That is, until something involving Trump took center stage. The point I'm trying to make is that when a Democrat is in the White House, the protests and resultant coverage seem to have an immediate sustained impact, which could also be due to the Democrats' messaging as well. And when a Republican is in the White House, the protests tend to not have that much of an effect, and the media coverage confirmed that. Touching on the protests briefly before they move on to something else. And allow me to make one more point about the media before I move on. Pardon me for taking a while to realize this, but the media, mainstream or otherwise, really love, or should I say crave, that all-important access to the White House, don't they? Almost to a point where without it, they may begin to openly question whether they're able to do their jobs or not. I remember a time where some reporters would get all on Biden's case for not doing press conferences, seemingly taking it personal too. I don't recall a single voter making inquiries about this, but let me know if y'all saw something different. I don't know what Biden's reasoning was outside of possibly focusing more on the task at hand, but that didn't stop the media from bringing it up as if they were offended or worse. When you get a chance, take a look at how the media treats Trump, whether he's in the Oval Office, about to board Air Force One, or at any podium, and you'll see what I mean. Almost as if they're giddy at the access. Very interesting, especially when they're asking questions and they know what Trump is saying is comprised of 99% bullshit. Let's talk about townhalls for a moment. I understand the importance of them, and when my time as a politician arrives, I'll be sure to have some of my own. On one end, no matter which side of the political aisle you're on, I appreciate the constituents voicing whatever concerns they may have regarding the current political climate, especially when it's directed to the person that's supposed to be representing them. On the other hand, I then start asking the question, what is this going to accomplish overall? I ask this because even if we see people shouting the all too familiar line, do your job at Republicans, just like they did at the beginning of Trump's first term in 2017, it seems like it's akin to a person being mad at someone for a period of time, and when that anger subsides, all may be right with the world again. I continue to take a wait and see approach here, but I would not be surprised one bit if the same people who are making such fusses at these town halls, specifically against the Republicans who choose to show up, mind you, turn right around and reelect the same people who they were up in arms against in the first place. Make it make sense. No. And last but not least, let's talk about behavior. When we go to a job interview or meet our significant others' parents for the first time, or even going to something as simple as a party, we're all supposed to be on our best behavior, right? When someone is supposed to represent us domestically and internationally, they're supposed to be on their best behavior too, right? So I have to ask again, no matter what he says and does, why does Trump continue to get a pass? Is it simply because even though the way he acts as president is reckless, dangerous, and any other adjective you want to include, he can get away with it because it's entertaining or it makes you laugh, as if politics is nothing but a damn reality TV show? But on the flip side, no way would people tolerate this coming from any Democrat. But then again, people expect the Democrats to govern, whereas people expect the Republicans to gaslight. And right there is the very notable problem. And as citizens, we have to ask ourselves, do we want to be governed by responsible people or gaslit by irresponsible people who want to do everything else except govern? I guess this will be determined in future elections. And speaking of future elections, this also brings about another question. Are we going to continue to see situations where we keep giving Republicans the keys to the White House, the Democrats come in and have whatever type of mandate you want to choose, make this promise, make that promise, and then us as a society, we want to immediately claim that the Democrats are not doing enough or the Democrats are not doing it fast enough? The next thing you know, we're giving the Republicans power back during the midterms and during the next presidential election. So are we going to keep doing this, or are we going to do something new when it comes to future elections? We shall see. And on that note, y'all, I'm done with this video. It was a quick one, but I just had some thoughts on my mind. If you like what you heard and you're ready to become part of Team Discipline, go ahead and hit that like button and drop some comments if you're feeling the content, and definitely let me know your stance on everything I just said. And last but not least, hit that subscribe button along with the bell so you're notified when I drop new videos. And until next time, my people, take care of yourselves and remember, the power of the mind is valuable.